Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Governor Livingston High School here on the hill. We're out here at Fry Field today for this matchup between your Governor Livingston Highlanders girls varsity lacrosse and Whippany Park girls varsity lacrosse. My name is Nathan Philbrick. Thank you for joining us here on Governor Livingston High School television on YouTube and or Facebook. We are just about to get ready for the third match of the Highlanders season. Pretty low amount of games played for these Lady Highlanders thus far. Unfortunately, they have been unable to capitalize in either falling to Milburn on the 31st of last month and Verona on the 6th of April, just last week. We are currently waiting for, I believe, the clock to be able to run. We had a bit of a delay because we had to wait for our second official. Can't have a game with just one official, but we should be able to get this game going soon, and we'll see our first draw control on the opposite side of the field. Going from left to right in white, Whippany Park going from right to left in blue, almost black. The Highlanders, as we see our first draw control. And this one will be almost controlled by the Highlanders, still chasing this one down. And a foul there for pushing the back against number 4 of the Highlanders, Stephanie DePasquale. So DePasquale will take it down the right side, try to make something work. Loses her defender, gets it down low. Shot across the face of goal. And that one will dribble out of bounds for a Whippany Park possession. So, number 8, Jadina will pass this one up the field to number 4, Chalice, who will be met by 2 Highlander defenders and commit a traveling violation, losing possession of the ball. So Stephanie DePasquale will scoop this one up. DePasquale, tied for second currently for goals on this Highlander team with 3, along with Ella Panagiotou. Both of those girls, the younger sister of players who played for Governor Livingston High School in the past 2 years. Hayden Panagiotou graduated last year, played for the Highlanders. Now Ella, the freshman, has taken her place on the roster. Stephanie DePasquale has an older sister, Maria, playing basketball and women's lacrosse over at Kane in Union. Unfortunately for the Highlanders, number 4 for Whippany Park, Chalice will go on a run, takes a shot. This one on the ground. It'll be scooped up by Leah Ronga, number 3. Ronga, one of the standout freshmen for last year. It's a pretty young Highlander team. Not a whole lot of seniors, and the few seniors they have, lacrosse is not their primary sport. Kira Forrester, one of those seniors, mainly a soccer player. Ava Vincent, varsity cheerleader for the Highlanders in the winter and fall, is another one of those seniors, along with Caleb Prasad and Maya Cantor, I should mention. Now DePasquale, she'll drive into the 8-meter, looks for a shot, doesn't have one, goes over the top, ends up on the ground, and I believe I'll have a whistle here for an 8-meter penalty. And we will, so DePasquale will get set up off that hanging hash off the 8-meter arc and have the chance to open the scoring for the Highlanders. And she will. Goes over the top of number 3, Tori Henning, the goalie for this Hanover Park team. And the Highlanders will take a 1-0 lead with the opening goal. Whoops. My bad, I'm running graphics today. So, the Highlanders with the opening goal, Stephanie DePasquale in an unsurprising fashion if you know her playstyle, but slightly surprising if you look at the score or the stat sheet for the Highlanders. Allison Nelson leads the team with 5 goals. Those are her only goal contributions. She's got 5 goals, 5 points. Di Pasquale, 3 goals, 1 assist for 4 points. And Ella Panagiotou, 3 goals, 2 assists for 5 points. Di Pasquale bringing her point total up to 5 now with that 4th goal on the season. And giving her team an early lead. Penalty here, and that'll go against Whitney Park, so Stephanie Di Pasquale will be on the free release. She'll take this one, driving down the middle of the field. Cuts across hash to hash, ends up on the right side, tries to go into the middle for number 24 of the Highlanders. And that one will be scooped up by number 8, Jadina. Knocked out there. Ava Vincent almost on the first turnover. Now Cicinone, excuse me, drives down within the 12-meter arc and gets a foul. That'll get her set up on that near side of the 8-meter hash. Dessa Tombros standing in between her and the back of the net. And Dessa Tombros unable to get to it. Over her left shoulder, an opposite shoulder save. Not an easy one to make. So Whitney Park will get their own tying goal mere minute later. Dessa Tombros, actually just a freshman. She played in both games for the Highlanders. 16 saves, 34 goals allowed, so just a little bit under a 33% save rate. Correction, a little bit under 33% save rate. So, not horrible for a freshman keeper, especially when the Highlanders are playing, or have played such tough competition. Not an easy schedule to start the season. They started at Milburn, and then played here versus Verona, 2 pretty solid teams. Lost 21-9 and 19-4. Di Pasquale will get boxed out of the draw control on this one. It'll be scooped up by Reagan Jadina. Excuse me, there are 2 siblings. You've got Reagan and Larissa Jadina, sophomore and freshman sister duo, playing for Whitney Park. There's a foul called there inside the 8-meter arc, and that'll set up another free position. This one will be in the hands of, not quite sure who, driving to the net, and gets that one over Dessa Tombros. That was number 2, Corey Houston. So Whitney Park taking the lead back. The Highlanders with an early lead off the hanging hash of the 8-meter arc from Stephanie Di Pasquale, and now Park has the lead. This is also a tough Park team, 6-0. Faced a lot of tough opponents. Up until this point, these 2 teams have not faced any common opponents, but they will in the future. At the end of this week on Friday, the Highlanders will host DePaul Catholic, and on the 1st of May, Whitney Park will host them, as well as a common Union County opponent. Both of these teams will play Cranford. Whitney Park will play Cranford later in the month on the 28th. The Highlanders will play Cranford as one of their last games on May 20th. But now Leoronga gives this one to Di Pasquale. Pretty good young dynamic duo. Di Pasquale is trying to work her way into the 8-meter, looking for a pass in. Sends a player cutting. Tries to get it to a friendly face, but that one will be intercepted by Larissa Jadina. She'll keep this one. She'll go over the top to Fahir. And Samantha Fahir, the senior, not currently leading the team for goals, but now tied for goals with the team leader, Reagan Jadina, 16 goals on the season. She'll bring her team to 3 goals on the game. And Whippany Park opening up this one quickly. The Highlanders open the scoring, but unable to keep up now. There's just a few too many offensive faults. As I mentioned, there's a pretty young Highlanders team. Not quite as many seniors and juniors as I'm sure head coach Jackie Wells would like. There are, in fact, I believe only 6 seniors and 2 juniors on this team, which is a relatively few amount compared to Whippany Park, who have 4 seniors and 8 juniors on their squad. But now this one with number 2, Corey Houston. She gets this one down behind the goal with Fahir. Samantha Fahir looks for a pass into the front, and that one will be body blocked on the shot from Reagan Jadina. Tessa Tombros will look to get this one out. She'll have to step out of her crease in a second or two, and she will. Can only stand in the crease for so long. Sends this one far down the field, and that one will dribble away. Will be scooped up by the keeper for Whippany Park, number 34. Sorry, this is Riley Powers, the keeper. She'll be able to get it to Rhodes, and a foul there that goes the way of the Highlanders. Alapana Giotto. We'll start with this one. She'll immediately try and get out to Ava Vincent, and that one will be intercepted. They're bounced off her stick. Samantha Fahir now has this one knocked away from her, trying to control it on the ground, and a whistle. And she'll get another free possession on the 8-meter arc.
Just watch out because people might go near you.
Correction. That was an offensive foul, so number 19 from the Highlanders, Claire Sanchez, will take it. Sanchez will work this one down the left side. Chased from behind by number 4, Chalice. Not Panagiotou. Di Pasquale takes it. Gets it into the middle for number 24. Now,
Camera 3, move up. Camera 3, move up.
bit harder to track this one, excuse me. Santora almost has her pass intercepted. Now needs to scoop it up, and she'll get fouled. Cross check there indicated by the refs. Or the ref, singular. And Kendall Santora will stay down on the field, evidently not feeling too good after that check.
Okay, wait. Can we go somewhere else? One, I'm gonna put you on live. Yeah, just take foot. Okay, yeah, stay there, stay there. Yeah.
She will eventually recover and will be met by one of the assistant coaches for the Highlanders to escort her off the field. Sorry, that is not the assistant coach. That is our athletic trainer, Amanda, one of our athletic trainers. We have 2 of them here at Governor Livingston High School. We've got Amanda and Todd, both amazing at their jobs. We love to see them do what they do and helping out all the players, regardless of sport, regardless of what level. But now we'll get a free possession of 12-meter arc. This one shot high over the goal, and possession will go to Whippany Park. And that will end the first half as the ball stays out of bounds. So, at the end of the first, the score, Highlanders 1, Whippany Park 3. I'm Nathan Philbrick. Thank you for joining us here on Governor Livingston High School Television on YouTube and or Facebook. We'll be back in just a minute or two for the start of the second quarter. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Fry Field here at Governor Livingston High School on the Hill. My name is Nathan Philbrick. Thank you for joining us here for this match between your Governor Livingston Highlanders girls varsity lacrosse and Whippany Park. It's a hot one out here today. If you weren't aware, about 85 degrees, and with absolutely no cloud cover, it is rather scorching. Both back here and on the field, although I'm sure it is much worse on the turf field. If you ever played on a turf field, you'll know exactly how hot it gets, especially those little black turf bits that are everywhere. Get one in your shoe and you feel like someone poked a hot nail in the bottom of your soul. Either way, switch of sides here. Whippany Park will control the draw. They'll be going from right to left in their white jerseys. The Highlanders going left to right in the blues. And here's an easy attack to start the quarter for Whippany Park. That'll be Samantha Fahir putting another one in the net. Bringing her team up to a 3-goal lead. And making this one ever further out of the Highlanders' reach. But we've seen bigger comebacks here. Still a lot of time to play. We just started the second quarter. As we'll see another draw control here. This one's sent up and almost scooped up by Stephanie DiPasquale, but it'll be Reagan Jadina who'll take this one down into her team's offensive zone. Met by Leah Ronga. She'll be forced to pull this one back. Get it to Vegas, who sends it to Corey Houston. And a whistle. For what exactly, I'm unsure. Whistle for a penalty, I believe, as Corinne Morrison will be sent to stand behind Corey Houston. So free release here, just outside of the 12-meter arc. This one with Reagan Jadina. She'll go back to Houston, who will go to Vegas. Vegas behind the goal line now for number 10, Kelly. Kelly sends one in front. Cicinone has the one intercepted by Dessa Tombros, who now dishes out to number 24 of the Highlanders, Ella Panagiotou. She'll send this one far upfield. Finds DiPasquale. DiPasquale looking at one defender in the goal. Sends this one off. With Kayla Persaud, who has it now just below the goal line. Looks for a pass in front, loses her defender. And bounce pass unsuccessful. That one will be intercepted by Reagan Jadina. She'll get it to Vegas, who'll drive this one down the field, dump it off to Cicinone. Sends this one further down to Samantha Fahir. Fahir driving inside the 8-meter, loses the ball. Now panic for it. Dessa Tombros almost knocked that one into her own goal. Luckily avoids it by a few feet. Now Vegas has that one body blocked by Tombros. Dessa Tombros, the younger sister of Theo Tombros. A pretty standout offensive lineman for the Highlander football team. Speaking of the Highlander football team, if you want to go back and watch all of their home matches, you can do that on the GLHS TV YouTube channel after the game, of course. And after a penalty that does not go to the way of Whippany Park, to the surprise of Corey Houston, I can see why she is a bit confused there. Met by 3 defenders. Had a stick in her face and yet wasn't the one to benefit from the penalty. So now it'll be Patricia Umali with the free release. Taking this one down the far side for the Highlanders. Tries to get it to Juliana Porzio. No luck. Whippany Park will scoop it up.
Number 1, you're good.
Send it down the field. Now Ava Vincent guarding the ball. Simone will get this one to number 5.
Actually, wait, camera 1.
Excuse me. I cannot. Layla, I believe, got this one. I got that one to Simone in the middle, and she put that one over the head of Desatambros. So Whippany Park takes a 4-point lead. The score is 5-1 here. Just over halfway through the second period, second quarter. Not looking too good for the Highlanders. This has kind of been the story for most of their matchups thus far into the season. There's only 2 to look at, but 0-2 with a goal differential of, if I can pull it up here, sorry, with a goal differential of 27. 13 points for, 40 points against. That is not really a conductive style to winning. Stephanie DiPasquale does manage to get this draw control, though. Sends it down to Panagiotou. Now a shot there over the crossbar. Ends up in the stick somehow of Kayla Persaud. Not Tombros again. That was DiPasquale again. Fortunately, her shot deflected down and now being controlled by Larissa Jadina. Now it's Layla. Cuts this one inside. Looks to get a pass off. Does. Now pass off into the middle. Number 17, Samantha Fahir. Fahir looking for a pass in front. Finds one in Cicinone. Cicinone can't find a shot. Now Layla again. Goes back behind the goal to number 10, Kelly. Kelly gets this one in front. Cicinone puts that one into the body of Tombros, and Tombros now looking for a long outlet pass. Found the stick. Trisha Umali, but only temporarily. Now Umali will knock that one temporarily away from number 9, Rhodes. But the Panthers will maintain possession. Sorry, not Panthers. Jadina. Not a Houston. Not a Layla. Now back to Houston. Houston looks to make a move into the 12-meter arc. We'll get it to Vegas. Vegas gets a shot off there, and that one wide left of the goal. And it'll stay Whippany Park possession. Now Vegas, bounce shot there, hits into the top body of Dessa Tombros. So no luck there on that try for the Wildcats. Tombros will take this one out of her crease. Sends it down the field. Finds the stick. Patricia Umali. Umali will try to send that one down, but no luck. It'll dribble out of bounds. Shepherded by number 8, Larissa Jadina. Now she'll send this down the field for her team. Finds the stick of Cicinone, who gets this one into Jadina Reagan. That is Reagan trying to work against Corinne Morrison. Now Reagan goes for a pass into the middle, finds the stick. Number 12. That was Holmes. That's a Tombros with the save there. Now Holmes will go to Samantha Fahir. Fahir will find one in front. That one blocked by the leg of Dessa Tombros. An acrobatic save for Lacrosse. And another save there. Dessa Tombros putting in the work in the crease. Now she'll carry this one out. Being chased down. She'll have an over-the-shoulder penalty. She'll get this one out to Corinne Morrison. Morrison being chased down. Now being chased down by 2. Layla, the main pursuer. Now met by a 3rd. Goes for a spin, trying to get away. Needs an option. Doesn't have one. Gets caught up. There's DiPasquale, who will finally catch that high arcing pass. She'll try and get that one into Ella Panagiotou, and that ball will be chased down by Powers for Whippany Park, who will now send this one down the field. Just gets to it before Panagiotou, and now Rhodes will have the chance with it. Met by Ava Vincent around midfield. Rhodes driving, gets a free release penalty. Rhodes continuing to drive into the 12-meter, now into the 8-meter, looks for the shot. That one wide left. She ends up on the ground after some contact from Juliana Porzio. We'll stay with Whippany Park. Samantha Fahir will bring this one back in bounds. Holmes into the middle of the field. Cicinone misses that one wide right. And Dessa Tombros succeeds in chasing it down for the Highlanders. There is a run out here. Sorry. There is runouts here in women's lacrosse in the NJ High School game as well as the men's game. That's one of the few similarities in the rules of these two sports. You have a Vincent. They are now met by 2. Gets hit in the face by a stick and loses the ball, but will have the chance to regain possession anyways off the penalty. Now Eva Vincent has to look for a pass. Gets that one to Corinne Morrison. Morrison driving down the near side. Cuts back in. Runs past Leah Ronga. Morrison now driving to the net. Holds up at the 15. Tries to get a pass out to Panagiotou, and sorry, that's Allison Nelson. Allison Nelson finds herself fouled, and she'll set up in prime scoring position at that top hash of the 8-meter arc. And she'll start early. Gets a whiff of whistle from the referees. We'll have to restart on that one. Can't go early, even if it is your own 8-meter. Gotta wait for the referee's whistle. 2 defenders flanking her. They'll try and rush into the middle, stop her from scoring. Nelson looking dead ahead to goal. Doesn't look like she's gonna want to pass. Loses the ball. Regains control of it. Doesn't allow the turnover, but now she's got to work something quick. And a penalty off the ball. So Nelson will be forced to move away from the crease. Now she'll get this one to Panagiotou. Panagiotou works around the goal, loses that one, and another foul. So Panagiotou now with a chance at the 8-meter. On the hanging hash this time. Adriana Rhodes will look to get in front of this one, along with her goalkeeper, and forces Panagiotou to lose possession, but not without fouling her. Unsure whether that was Rhodes or Larissa Jadina with the penalty. It's got to be one of them. Riley Powers, Larissa Jadina, and Adriana Rhodes. A pass attempt there to Allison Nelson. You don't see that very often. A pass off the hanging hash slips in between 3 different sticks of the defense and puts a second point on the board for the Highlanders. And I've got to change the score manually.
Oh no, I meant the people walking on the field.
Excuse me. So. Excuse me. We are going to have some issues today, probably. But there we go. Going to have some issues today. I'm working graphics and audio, so my own audio and the graphics. So we will see what exactly we will encounter. But false start on the draw control here. Stephanie DiPasquale will go with a free release. Immediate drives quickly. Gets another. Works her way inside the 12-meter. Goes to Allie Nelson. Nelson can't hit that one. Panagiotou now off the side bar. Allie Nelson trying to pick this one up in front on the pass from Kayla Persaud. Can't quite. It'll be scooped up by Adriana Rhodes. Sorry, not Rhodes. Larissa Jadina. But that will be the end of the first half as the siren goes. So here at the end of the first, your score, Highlanders 2, Whippany Park 5. My name is Nathan Philbrick. Thank you for joining us here on Governor Livingston High School Television on YouTube and or Facebook. We'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes with the start of the second half. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Governor Livingston High School here on the Hill. My name is Nathan Philbrick. Thank you for joining us here on Governor Livingston High School Television on YouTube and or Facebook. We are just about to kick off. Not quite sure what the word to use is. We are just about to get started with the third period of this game coming out of halftime. The score here at Fry Field, currently 2-5. The Highlanders down by 3 to the Whippany Park Panthers. Why doesn't it say on the... Excuse me. I do apologize. Draw control taken by Highlanders initially. The Wildcats. There we go. Whippany Park Wildcats. That's a nice alliteration. And now, speaking of Whippany Park, number 4... Chalice will carry this one down the field. Spin move. I do have to fix the scoreboard, excuse me, but Corey Houston now gets a spin into the 8-meter, takes a shot. That one sneaks over the right shoulder of Odessa Tombros. And the Highlanders now back down by 4. Whippany Park reestablishes the largest lead they've had all game. Score now 2-6, just barely a minute out of halftime. Let's get another look at that goal. Let's not get another look at that goal. I missed my opportunity. That's what happened. I was too slow to click the button. Either way, another draw control here. Stephanie DePasquale representing the Highlanders. She's been all right in draw controls for the Highlanders. She's won 11 over 2 games, so, 5.5 per game. And there will be a foul there. A yellow card for number 14, Reagan Jadina. Rookie mistake there. Talked back to the referee when he called a penalty against her for making contact on the upper body of Stephanie DePasquale. So referee shows her a yellow card. She'll have to sit for, I believe, 1 minute. Although I'm not exactly sure because I couldn't hear the referee say how long the penalty was for. Could be 1 minute, could be 2 minutes. Entirely unsure. Either way, DePasquale will start with this one. Currently facing down with 2 Wildcat defenders. Tried to get that one down the field to Patricia Umali, but no luck. Now Umali will get it from Leah Ronga. Sends it into Ella Panagiotou. And number 2, Corey Houston, upset. Not sure at herself or the referee. But either way, she'll give Ella Panagiotou free position from the middle hash of that 8-meter arc. Dangerous spot for the Wildcats. Can they avoid it? Goes low on the sidearm. And can't find the netting. So this one will end up in the hands of Whippany Park. Riley Powers, the goalkeeper, will bring it out. Sends it to number 4, Chalice. Chalice carries this one across the 50. Chalice being chased down by DePasquale. Now DePasquale drops off Chalice, met by 2 defenders, Corinne Morrison and Santora. Santora, excuse me. Now a shot here from Samantha Fahir. And she will, excuse me. And she will give the Wildcats their largest lead of the game. Apologies, I'm having troubles with my scoreboard. By the way, Coach Wall is evidently not pleased with what she sees, with the product she sees in the field, so she will go ahead and call a timeout for her squad. Try and maybe right some of the wrongs she's seeing on the field. Down by 5. This is the largest deficit the Highlanders have faced thus far. So, likely trying to save herself and her team from potentially going off an even higher cliff and dropping larger leads to the Wildcats. But there's one thing that they should probably be able to do. It's capitalize more on these 8-meter opportunities. There's been at least 4 that have came and gone for the Highlanders without them taking advantage. So not exactly what you want to see. They'll probably work on that in practice later this week, probably tomorrow. But for a team that has 65 goals for in 6 games, the Highlanders aren't doing too poorly on the defensive front. Actually have managed to keep them away relatively well, with the Whippany Park Wildcats averaging just under 11 goals per game. They have 7 right now. So, offense, likely the front that Coach Wills will want to focus on, especially with the amount of drop passes. It's just passed up opportunities all around on every front. Dropped passes, missed passes, passes that go out of bounds. Not being able to capitalize, on the free position opportunities, not being able to capitalize on free release penalties, things of that nature. By the way, Reagan Jadina still sitting in the sin bin for her crimes against the referee. I believe it was a 2-minute unreleasable for her, so
Oh my god, there's a Oh my god.
she will have to deal with this one. Her team evidently still faring well with her off the field, have managed to score one. And now we'll see a draw control. Stephanie DePasquale switching up her positioning, trying to force Whippany Park to go another way on their draw control. We'll see if it works for her. It doesn't, but not entirely for the fault of her own. Vegas will control this one for the Wildcats. Tries to go into the middle for Cicinone. That will be scooped up by DePasquale. Will that be fouled by Cicinone and get a free release penalty? We'll work this one on her on the way to the outside. Sends this one down the field. Gets it to Leah Ronga, who will get it to Patricia Umali. Umali works this one past the screen, set by Ronga. Umali taking her time, looking for a pass. Finds one to Juliana Porzio. Will now go back to DePasquale. DePasquale holding up outside of the 12-meter. Goes to Ronga. Ronga hits a spin, cuts inside, pulls back out, goes back to DePasquale. A calmer offense here from the Highlanders. DePasquale trying to cut. Looks to go into the middle, and a cross-check. Foul committed. Not sure by who. There was a crowd of people. Get out of the way. It'll set up Stephanie DePasquale on the 12-meter arc. Was driving this one in. Goes for the pass. Can't find Ella Panagiotou. And now a foul. Another foul against Whippany Park. As Porcio was trying to get the ground ball. Leah Ronga trying to throw that one in for a pass in front of goal. Kayla Prasad had to chase it down out of bounds, but Unfortunately, couldn't quite get to it. So now Riley Powers will send this one out. She'll send it to her, number 4. Chalice. Chalice will work down the far side, gets fouled by Patricia Umali. Chalice working her way down the field, goes for a pass, intercepted. That's DePasquale. DePasquale gets this pass off into the middle to Allison Nelson. Nelson into Panagiotou. Panagiotou! A nice save there by Riley Powers. Unfortunately, there was a foul from behind on Panagiotou on that shot, so an 8-meter free position for her. Powers, not particularly pleased. Neither is head coach Natalie Contampasis, who you might have seen at the bottom of your screen, questioning that call. Panagiotou sneaks that one past Powers and puts a third on the board for the Highlanders, cuts the deficit back down to 4. And it's been all underclassmen today for the Highlanders. All 3 goals coming from either a freshman or a sophomore. So a young team, but if you can take a look to the future and look into your crystal ball for just a second for me, you might be able to see a future where you've got a 4-man offensive front for the Highlanders that can put in the work at a level not quite seen in Governor Livingston girls lacrosse in quite a few years. DePasquale will revert back to the traditional stance. Sends this one up. Can't quite control it. Vegas will scoop it up. She'll be met on the outside of the field. Forced to drop this one off. Centora. Now a hard shot there from Reagan Jadina, and that one will bounce off Dessa Tombros and dribble out of bounds. Chalice will bring it in for the Wildcats. She gets it to Reagan Jadina. Jadina looking for something past DePasquale. Gets it to Vegas. Vegas has a nice fake there. Fools Leah Ronga only temporarily, though. The Wildcats forced to rework their offensive strategy. Shot there by Cisa Known, blocked by Dessa Tombros. Is now being pressed by number 17, Samantha Fahir. Tombros has got to work her way outside of her crease at some point, unless she can get that one to Allison Nelson, which she does. Foul against Whippany Park. Nelson will try and go quickly with it. Goes over the top. Gets it to Kayla Prasad. She sends that one further down the field for Panagiotou, and Panagiotou can't quite get to it. It'll be a ground ball battled for. Now Panagiotou will be able to scoop it up, met by 3 defenders. She'll have a whistle called in her favor. Gets a bit of space on the free release penalty now. Patricia Umali tries to go for goal there. Nice save by Powers yet again. She sent it down the field to Chalice, who will send it cross field now to Corey Houston. Houston works down the near sideline. Tries to get a shot off. That one easily scooped up by Dessa Tombros after it found its way to hit the traffic in front. Kayla Prasad trying to work her way down that far sideline, just bodied out of bounds. So Holmes will send this one down to Reagan Jadina. Jadina now goes into the middle for Chalice. Chalice gets fouled, and I believe she'll have an 8-meter opportunity. She will. So 8-meter opportunity from the center hash, flanked by 2 Highlander defenders. She'll look to take this one quickly to goal before anyone gets in her way. She will, and she scoots that one over the head of Desatombros, reestablishing a 5-point lead for the Wildcats and making the score 3-8. So, Coach Will is able to motivate her team temporarily at least, but might now see them losing a bit of hope. Still a lot of time left. We have a whole another quarter to play, along with the rest of the third quarter. So, we'll watch to see how this one plays out. DePasquale almost had that one. Regan Jadina able to control that one calmly, however, after she knocks away from the scrum. She'll be met by Leah Ronga on the far sideline. Ronga trying to put pressure on her, forces her to get a pass off to Samantha Fahir. Fahir gets that one down inside to Vegas. Vegas forced away from her lane and is fouled. However, so she'll get an opportunity from the 8-meter. Met by two defenders. Loses the ball, and it'll be scooped up for the Highlanders by Claire Sanchez. Sanchez gets this one into DePasquale. DePasquale looking for something, goes across field. That one intercepted by Adriana Rhodes. Now Rhodes will drive. And she'll have that one knocked away from her by Juliana Porzio. However, it was a foul, so she'll get possession back. And the Wildcats will get another chance to work it in the Highlanders' offensive area. Jadina trying to work something, goes outside, and a 5-hole shot there from number 11, Cicinone, excuse me. And Whippany Park will increase their largest lead of the game to 6, making the score 9-3 here at Fry Field. The Highlanders seeming to squander a bit in their effort, took the early lead 1-0. And Whippany Park took the momentum back 2-1. And from there, it was up and up for the Wildcats, now leading 3-9. 6-point deficit, pretty hard. Will be pretty hard for the Highlanders to overcome. But Coach Wells will try and motivate them and put some strategy into play that will hopefully let them retake the lead and pick up their first win of the season.
Oh my god, wait. Hold on, I'm taking photos of this.
So timeout for the Highlanders. Apologies. Now that I look at it, I do believe it is not Desatombros in goal. It might actually be Ellis Duff, number 38. I was led to believe by NJ.com on the stat sheet that it'd be Desatombros in goal, but number 38 is Ellis Duff, although Desatombros doesn't actually appear on the roster, so who knows which roster is correct. Is it true that Desatombros is still the goalie? Still in goal for the Highlanders as she was for the first two games? Or is it Ellis Duff? I don't know. I'd probably like to confirm, but until I do, I'm going to assume it's Desatombros. If it is Ella stuff, I do apologize. It's my bad. I'm being fed bad information by NJ.com. Pretty long penalty here. Sorry, not penalty. Pretty long timeout here. A lot of strategy discussing from these two coaches. Timeout should only be a max of 2 minutes. Not quite sure if we've exceeded that yet, but we're probably coming pretty close. That will be the end of the timeout, or it's supposed to be. Both teams will do their last rallying hoorahs and get out onto the field to restart play here in the third quarter of this matchup. I am Nathan Philbrick. Thank you for joining me here on Governor Livingston High School Television on YouTube and or Facebook. I believe it's only YouTube right now, but we'll keep saying it just for the sake of it. If you want to see some photos from any of our other shoots except for this one, you can go to the Governor Livingston High School Television Facebook, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We also have Threads, if you're that kind of person who prefers to use Threads over Twitter, although say what you want. You know, it is Threads. Either way, we'll have a draw control here. Once again, that one will be controlled by Whippany Park. And excuse me, that was not a timeout. That was the end of the quarter. That explains why it was so long. I did not hear the siren go. That is truly my bad. It's the fourth quarter now, so we've switched sides. The Wildcats of Whippany going from right to left now, and the Highlanders of Governor Livingston going from left to right. Shot there. That one flies by the goal. Some heat on that one out of the stick of Corey Houston. Luckily, she has a teammate there to gain control of it for her and keep it in their team's possession. Or not. Possession will go to the Highlanders. Controlled by the Highlanders. Now Ronga sends this one down the field to there was Caleb Prasad. Tosses that one as an attempt at finding Ella Panagiotou. Can't quite. And now Whippany Park strings together a series of passes and manages to work this one down the field. That one knocked away though, and will be picked up by Corinne Morrison. So now the Highlanders will go back on offense. Morrison sends this one down the field, trying to find Ella Panagiotou. Panagiotou knocks this one out of the stick of the woman who got to it first. But it'll stay with Whippany Park either way. That's Corey Houston. Houston trying to work something. Houston works to the ball in front to Samantha Fahir, who hits that one into the back of the net. Sorry, not hits that one. Who shoots that one into the back of the net and brings her team into the double digits and extends their largest lead of the game. Whippany Park Wildcats now up 10-3 over the Highlanders, a 7-point lead for the squad that currently sits at the top of the conference. The Independence White. Both of these teams happen to play in the same conference, which might be a bit confusing because they're not that close to each other, but the conferences work interestingly here. Of course, they are not at all in the same group in terms of the PowerPoint system. Whippany Park actually playing in Group 3, so comparatively a huge school when you compare to the Highlanders, who are sitting in Group 1 of the South, Whippany Park of the North. Whippany Park currently sitting in second at 6-0. You may be wondering how they're sitting in second at 6-0, and the answer is Princeton is also sitting at 6-0, and Princeton has a lead of 2.5 power points as That one will find the back of the net. Off the stick of I'm not quite sure who. Further extending the lead and bringing this one ever further away from the Highlanders. But either way, back to what I was saying. Whippany Park 3.5 power points behind Princeton. Now, how do the power points work? I don't know if I want to explain it, actually. The power point system works off a variety of factors. One of such factors is wins. There's multiple factors that you add and multiply and divide. Actually, the only factor you divide is the number of games you've played. Technically, the power points ranking is not actually just a pure number ranking. It's actually an average, as that pass there from number 10 for the Wildcats, Kelly, found its way right into the stick of Desitomeros. By the way, it takes power points takes a variety of factors, including your winning score, the quality of the win, which means how many wins does your opponent have, and the residual, which I don't understand, so I won't bother explaining it. Nice spin move there by Liaranga. Back to what I was saying, but it takes the residual and the win quality and the just overall score of your opponent, or the quality of opponent, excuse me, and it adds and multiplies those in a way I don't remember, as that pass goes over the top of Alapana Giotto. It'll be with Juliana Porzio. She'll find out that one to Allie Nelson, and now Nelson took a shot there, bouncer, that found its way wide left. By the way, take all those factors, divide them by the amount of games you've played, you've got your power points rating. So Whippany Park currently sitting at 13.516 in the power points. Standings, Princeton sitting at 16.021. Power points ultimately decide position for playoffs, while conferences decide the opponents you play on in or within each season. Both of these teams happen to play within the Independence White. Whippany Park currently looking to run away with the division at 2-0. Best team in the division by far. Caldwell coming up as a close second, although they are 0-1 in division play, falling to only Whippany Park. As there's another goal from Whippany Park. That one scored by, I believe, that is number 8 for the Wildcats. So, if you want any sign that this one may be out of reach for the Highlanders, there you have it. That might have just been the dagger, a 9-goal lead for Whippany Park. And now Juliana Porzio will get some practice taking the draw controls for the Highlanders. Referee holding us up for a reason or another. By the way, I spoke about Whippany Park's power points long enough. The Highlanders currently sitting in 21st in the South Group 1, which is not qualifying for playoffs. The top 16 teams will qualify for playoffs, as number 4 for the Wildcats, Chalice, works her way in front, gets Desitomeros or Alice Duff, whichever one it happens to be, off balance and scores that one. Score now 13-3, a double digits lead for the Wildcats. And it's a all Wildcat game now. The Highlanders knocked out of this one mathematically and morally. So it'll likely be another rest and recoup for Coach Wells' side, as she'll throw in some of the backups and look to work with her one practice tomorrow until she has to face DePaul Catholic, who will be another tough opponent. Anyway. No, Hunter gets this one to Melly. Finds his way out to Vegas, who then gets it onto the stick of Holmes. Holmes. Now to Layla. Layla to Holmes again. Now back to Layla. Now behind the goal to number 13, Hunter. Hunter back to Layla. Layla sees that pass deflected by Leah Ronga, but Chalice will scoop it up before Ronga can get to it. Whippany Park just working this one around the edge. Not looking to give away possession. Just trying to take whatever they think the best opportunity they have is. No need to rush. They're not trying to cut a lead down as the Highlanders are, and just trying to burn as much clock as possible in a single offensive possession. No shot clock in the high school lacrosse game, as there is a shot from number 11. Sorry, that was number 1, Vegas, for the Wildcats. Did not find the goal, found its way to the right side of that net. So Wildcats will keep working it around the outside. The Highlanders not pressing particularly hard. There's a bounce shot there, saved by Tom Rose. Corinne Morrison will scoop it up. She'll try and go long down the field to Patricia Umali. Can't quite find her. It'll be intercepted, and a whistle and some confusion. But not sure what that was about, but Layla will drop the ball off to Vegas. Vegas now to Chalice. Chalice into Jadina. Jadina to Holmes. Holmes loses the ball for a second. Now loses it again. Can't quite regain possession of Corinne Morrison. Goes for it. It's pushed off the ball from Holmes, and Corinne Morrison will take possession on the penalty. Looks for a pass option. Goes far down the field. Excuse me. Bit of a scrum for it. As both these squads look to scoop it up. It'll go the way of the Wildcats. Holmes will run around the end zone as if she's celebrating a touchdown. Pass into the middle, attempted there by Melly. Can't find it, and a low shot from Reagan Jadina will find its way past. That's a Tombros. And Whippany Park now with an 11-point lead. Further reinforcing the sense of despair that the Highlanders are likely feeling. Not a great showing from them today, but also one of the tougher opponents they could have faced. As the running clock finally runs down to 0, so at the end of this game, the score is 3 for Governor Livingston, 14 for Whippany Park. My name is Nathan Philbrick. Thank you for joining us here on Governor Livingston High School Television on YouTube and or Facebook. Thank you for joining us. I've been Nathan Philbrick. You can check me out on @NatePhilbrick's Productions on YouTube and or TikTok for my photography and also updates on games that will be live streamed on GLHS TV. That's Nate, PHILBRIX Productions. Thank you, and have a good evening, everyone. We'll see you soon.